Welcome, everybody. I think most of you know me, but just for everyone else, my name is Jen Del Rosario, and I'm the Community Relations Coordinator for the Roseland School District. And we are so excited to have you here this evening and to be in person. For some people, they confess that this is our first event in person in a very long while. And it's very nice to see everybody and see at least your eyes up. First, before we even get started, we wanted to start the evening off with sharing some of the very special talent that we have here in the Roseland School District. And I wanted to introduce a very, very talented young woman and an RCP student, and her name is Citlali Esparza. And she will be singing a song called La Basurita. Welcome, Citlali. Hola, pues. Soy de mala espuma, soy triste lamento. Yo soy basurita que arrastra el viento. Cuando vine al mundo, yo nací llorando, y yo de Dios entonces sigo llorando. Soy como el ave que va volando por un desierto, buscando oriente, encontré el ocaso. Buscando dicha, encontré el dolor. Ahora pues, y soy basurita. Yo nunca he tenido que de mí se apiaden. Soy una plumita, soy basurita que arrastra el aire. Ah, cuánta amargura siento al recordarme cuando yo era niña, ojos del agua a bautizarme. Soy como el ave que va volando por un desierto, buscando oriente, encontré el ocaso. Buscando dicha, encontré el dolor. Thank you. Take another back. Was that amazing or what? Amazing. Thank you, Citlali. Well, we just are really grateful that you all are here this evening and have chosen to come and learn more about our school district. And you're here because you are investing and encouraging our students. And that's especially important through these very challenging last couple of years, as we all know. Here's a little history about the Roseland Community Advisory Board. That's why you're here this evening. This is our annual meeting. After our first high school, Roseland University Prep, was created in 2004, this advisory board was founded by Susan Moore. Where's Susan Moore? She's around here somewhere, probably talking to somebody. She wanted to provide our students with important life-changing resources and connections in our community. This board consists of over 125 people who mentor, volunteer, give scholarships, provide connections, and you also come to our annual scholarship benefit event each year, which, by the way, is coming up this Sunday, oh, not this Sunday, but a Sunday in March, March 6th. So please save that date. We hope to do something in person like this where we can all come together and celebrate. Together as the Community Advisory Board, you're changing the lives of so many impressive young people like Tilali, like the greeters that you met, the check-in table. Those are the students that you're investing in and you're changing their lives. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for caring about our students. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the Charter Board President and a huge supporter of Roseland, Mr. Ricardo Navarrete.
Take off my mask.
Go for it.
Yeah, Jen better take her speech away, otherwise I'll get mixed up with pages. And welcome, first of all, welcome to all of you, and thank you for your continued engagement with Roseland Charter Schools in person today or remotely from wherever you are right now. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. What a phenomenal and tumultuous year was 2021. It was a year of testament to the courage, creativity, and resolve of our faculty, our families, our staff, our administrative leadership. Yes, and the steadfast learning adaptability of our students. As a reminder, I wrote a few notes that this past year was filled with challenge and yes, accomplishment. Notably, our foundation, the Roseland Charter Foundation, closed escrow on the purchase of this campus, and we invested, the Charter Board, about $3 million of physical improvements, including ADA improvements, including an elevator and air conditioning in all the classrooms. Yeah, I mentioned that to my daughter. My daughter graduated from Roseland around 1994. And I mentioned things that we were doing here, and I said, air conditioning. And she said, that was the best thing you could have done. She remembers the sweltering classrooms of upstairs Roseland. You, my friends, sustained our scholarship efforts equal to some of our best years. I talked to Jen Del Rosario, and of course, we want to thank you for your leadership of that effort. We raised substantial money in a context that was virtual, and yet in its own way beautiful, Jen. So you are to be congratulated for that. In response to the issues of diversity, anti-racism, and equity, our leaders and our faculty and staff initiated what we called a cadre group that focused on open dialogue, the uncomfortable conversations, and commitment to address changes in relationships, in curriculum, social practice, and genuine anti-racism efforts. We safely reopened our campuses to in-person last March with a complex and methodical health protocol. Needless to say, what we have burdened our staff with and our leadership is a tremendous challenge to find ways to stay safe and yet create a haven that our students so richly deserve and want. We increased the social emotional support for students, investing in, now we have a clinical psychologist for our schools and a team of counselors added to every campus to help students transition through the changes in their lives and what they bring with them, the problems, the issues of their families. That hasn't gone away. All of this when, you know, there was an untimely departure of our former superintendent. I didn't see Lori Biggers here. Is she here at all? No. But for the record, Lori, if you're watching, our deep gratitude goes to her and all of the leadership team for filling the void with incredible finesse and what I would call unforeseen outcomes. I'm proud to say that our students attended school. Our attendance rate was in the upper quartile of all of Sonoma County. That's an achievement indeed we should be proud of. I also want to thank Janice Siebert. Janice, president of the district board. We entered into a memorandum of understanding, the charter in the district, Janet, last October, November, in which now the charter board is directly involved in the process of search and evaluation of our superintendent and some other key officers. That has set motion in a continued great relationship with what I call our mothership, the district. During the process, Dr. Lynn Kaminsky, one of our board members, Lynn, you're here, I saw you, over here. Lynn and I both served on the search committee for the superintendent. And I want to let you know that Roseland Schools, Roseland Charter, attracted a very talented pool of candidates. People were anxious to come and join the Roseland movement. This is what they told us, how proud they would be to be part of the Roseland educational experiment and success. We ended up with a leader that has impressed me with imagination, with resolve, with ingenuity, and a rich experience. Dr. Hector Rico, originally from Mexico, lived in Southern California, graduated from UC Santa Barbara, went on as a teacher, campus leader, principal, earned his doctorate from UC Berkeley en route, landed in the Salinas area where he worked for superintendent of the Alisal School District, and also was a director of diversity, inclusion, engagement at a charter school. So he brings a rich background that matches the needs of our district and our charter school. It's my pleasure, friends, to introduce Dr. Hector Rico.
That was lovely, thank you. I'm not sure who he's talking about, but I'll stand in their place. Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being here today and for everything you do on a daily basis for our wonderful students. Buenas tardes, mil gracias a ustedes. First of all, I want to start off before I say a little bit about me, just to again recognize our wonderful board members. I was going to introduce them, but Mr. Navarrete already did. So again, thank you so much. I'm not sure if any other of our board members are here, but they do incredible work every day. And it's a little extra challenging for us because we have two boards and two legal entities. So I don't know if you know that. We actually have the charter, which are 3 schools, the Rams Middle School, here RCP, and then our UP is the other high school. And then we got the elementary, which is the non-charter element, and that's the TK through 6th grade. And that's Roseland Creek, Shepherd, and Roseland Elementary. So those 2 independent educational agencies really comprise the Roseland Public Schools. So we wear multiple hats here. I serve as the superintendent for the school district, and then I serve as the director for the charter. So if I'm ever talking to you, you see me a little schizophrenic, then you kind of probably understand a little bit why. But I also want to make sure that I again recognize Miss Susan Moore. Did we find out where she's hanging out now? I know she didn't raise her hand. No, she's incognito right now. That's okay, but she's here. And I've had a chance to meet with her a few times over lunch and just share ideas about what could be. And boy, we get each other very excited because there's a lot that could be. There's so much potential here. I want to recognize the elected officials that may be here. So if I know there was a few folks in the audience, I want to again thank them for everything they do, because this is going to be continuing to be a collective effort to try to give our students the best. We cannot do it alone. You know that old African proverb, right? The old adage about it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it totally takes a village to educate a child. It really does. Our schools cannot do it alone. And then our students that you're going to get a chance to meet in a little while. I'm going to interview a few of them and just a Q&A session. But our staff, I want to thank our staff because without them, of course, you know, in these trying times, first of all, I want to thank them for showing up every day to work, because the day before was horrible. And sometimes it's looking forward to the next day. The odds are overwhelming right now. I mean, I can't begin to impress upon you what they're going through, what we're all going through right now, just to keep the schools open, keep kids safe. And by the way, educate the students. It's just an overwhelming task, but the people here are so committed that I am so blessed to be here working with such dedicated staff. And because I am new, I don't want to ignore anyone or forget anybody's name. So instead, let me just point out a few of the folks, the leaders from the two schools, the two high schools, so that you at least see their faces when you happen to go to either of the schools. I don't think I see anyone from Rams here. So the middle school. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. So Will James, the DJ with the most, he's actually a teacher at Rams. And unfortunately, his daughter had to go elsewhere, but she's also quite a performer. And we were blessed a couple of weeks ago to see her perform. So Mr. James, thank you for everything you do. And via you, please give the principal and the rest of the staff there. Haley Piazza is the principal there, and they do an amazing job at Rams with our middle school kids. Then the other school that belongs to the charter is Roseland University Prep. And we've got over here both the vice principal, Kim Wah, and the new principal, which I got to hire, Ms. Connie Marks, Lopez Marks. We stole her, we convinced her to come over willingly from Healdsburg with tons of experience at different levels, not just as administrator, as a teacher, but a counselor, which is huge nowadays. So thank you. And then over here, from this lovely school, Roseland Collegiate Prep, or RCP, Eli, where is he? I'm looking for Eli. First of all, the guy that you saw, that young teenager just ran across the hall a little while ago, Eli Weinsweg back there, or Mr. W as he's known. And the principal, Danielle Yount here. And together, they run this school. But what's interesting to take note, this is really two schools within the school, because they have the middle school, the 7th through 8th grade program, and that is separate than the 9th through 12th grade high school program. So now they've got, between the two of them, are tasked with running two different programs in one site. So huge gratitude for what they do every day. And then, of course, there's other wonderful people here that I don't want to forget. But of course, we've got wonderful representatives from the library, our police chief, the community college, Dr. Avila. And we are looking, I've met wonderful people everywhere, because I really believe that it's important that we understand, that we work together towards making sure that we give our students the best. Again, we cannot do it alone. So we're looking to continue to expand our partnerships with everyone. So if you know somebody that I should meet, please let me know, because we want to make sure our doors are open for that ongoing collaboration to make sure that we give our kids the best. Now, let me just tell you just a little bit about me. So you heard that I was born in Mexico, and forgive me if I speak fast, because Jen said she was going to pull the hook after 10 minutes. So I'm going to really try to squeeze it in here. I don't know if she means a literal hope. I hope not. But anyhow, so born in Mexico. I come from the same background as our students of poverty, of being immigrant, first generation. Well, I was born in Mexico, but I'm the first. Well, I'm not first generation. I'm an immigrant, right? My kids will be first generation. Yeah, that's how it goes. Yes. Okay. But I came over at 4 years old. So like La India Maria, a very famous Mexican comedian, will often say, ni de aquí, ni de allá. Sometimes you don't feel you belong there, you don't belong here, you belong nowhere. That's kind of the way I grew up. And a lot of our kids sort of feel that way, where they don't really quite fit in. They don't quite belong, right? And our district is quite unique. So I come from that background. So I had to learn English like our students. I had to be the first one in my family to graduate. Forget college, just high school. The first one to graduate from high school and then consider maybe going on to college. So being a teacher and then let alone a principal and all that, it was amazing, beyond my wildest dream. And then to get a doctor from Berkeley and then be superintendent, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm not saying that to applaud myself, but I'm saying that because as one of our students, one thing is to know up here that you can be the superintendent, you can be a principal, you can be the chief of police. That's one thing up here, but it's a whole different thing down here. It's a whole cerebrally, yeah, you can believe it. But in your heart, can you really believe it? If you have no one in your family that looks like you, that speaks your language, or that's ever been in a job anywhere remotely to the jobs that you all here have served throughout your careers, no, it's harder to believe that. And so because of that, we've got this amazing opportunity that you bring to our students for them to see people at your levels, to interact and care about them. They get to see firsthand these role models and these experiences firsthand, meeting police chiefs and university professors, physics. God, I don't know. Anyhow, that's all. Anyhow, and attorneys and university folks. Incredible, because now they start believing it. They really start believing that they can be. And then when we start bringing people in like Miss Lopez Marks over here that looks like them and speaks their language, now they can easier believe that, yeah, maybe I can become a principal. Why not? If she did it, it's simple, right, Connie? Very simple. And so with that, let me just go on a little bit further and say something about our district. And that is that apart from having two different agencies working together as one, our district is very, and I say district in the general term of both agencies, very unique. Let me give you some demographics. 94% Latino. 94% of our students are of that same demographic, largely immigrant, largely English learner population, first generation college students, and those challenges that presents. We have about 3,000 students, 1,500 at the elementary, 1,500 at secondary. We have about 85% of our students that come from free and reduced lunch or qualify for free and reduced lunch. So that's an indicator of poverty, if you will. 50% of our students district-wide together are English learners. So you've got the language, the culture, the economic, and the first generation to most of them to go on to college, right? You've got all those challenges ahead of them. And yet in this district, in this setting, they shine, they perform. And that's largely due to not just our staffs and their commitment to what you all do for our students, but also to our students and their families and their resiliency and their determination. So 5, 1, 5, 1. Oh my goodness, 1. Wait a minute, I think your clock's broken. I want to just say, lastly, or a couple more things, that I want to give thanks to the Sonoma County Relief, not Relief, IEF, but leaf, as in hojas, trees, because shortly you're going to be seeing 97 trees and 250 bushes brought here, and that's of a grant. So to the two lovely ladies here in the front, have a big role in making that happen through this special grant. And then lastly, do you see that beautiful swimming pool that's over there? How about the lovely gym that's right behind that tree? Do you see the gym? How about the other classroom building? I don't know if you can see it, but it's to the right. And the reason you can't see that is because those got burned down. Tomorrow is the anniversary of the Tubbs fire, and that's a painful moment for many of you, right? It's a very painful moment for the folks here, the teachers, the staff, and the students, because they had been here, I forget exactly how long, but not that long. And then this came about, and now they're sharing classrooms. These buildings that you see here, one of them is an old dormitory from the old Roseland nuns community here. And then this one are classrooms. But we can't use these classrooms because they don't meet the California requirements, the specs. We can't use the dorms. So even though you have these buildings here, they're not usable for us right now. We're trying to look to see what we can do about that. But right now they're not being used. So as a result, we use just a couple of classrooms down here, the huge art classroom here. And then that building, the 2-story building, which we just put an elevator recently, right? But that's it. So even though it looks sprawly, these kids, I want to commend them and our staff because they're resilient. They've been bounced around, as some of you know the history, from one school in the district to another. And guess what? Unlike many other of the districts in the county that have declining enrollment, which is across California, we have been pretty steady. And for our students to come back after being bounced around and perhaps felt like, that crazy uncle or the second-class citizen or whatever, they stuck with us and they're here. And just for that, we owe them our best, and we have to continue to give them our best. And so we will, with your help, we will continue to do that. And because Jen is now closer to me, that's definitely the time for me to say thank you. I would love to meet you in person. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Again, mil gracias. Thank you so much. And now it's my privilege to give you another taste of why we're really here. And that is to bring back Citlali over here, who's going to sing another lovely song, Viva Mexico.
Ay, ay, ay. Soy pura mexicana, nacida en este suelo, en esta hermosa tierra que es mi linda nación. Mi México querido, qué linda es mi bandera, si a alguno la mancilla le parto el corazón. ¡Viva México! ¡Viva! ¡Viva América! ¡Viva! ¡Oh suelo bendito de Dios! ¡Viva México! ¡Viva! ¡Viva América! ¡Viva! Mi sangre por ti daré yo. ¡Ay, ay, ay! ¡Que viva México y América, pues! Soy pura mexicana, por eso estoy dispuesta, si México lo quiere, que tenga que pelear. Mi vida se lo ofrezco y al cabo me lo ha dado, y como buen soldado yo se la quiero dar. ¡Viva México! ¡Viva! ¡Viva América! ¡Viva! ¡Oh suelo bendito de Dios! ¡Viva México! ¡Viva! ¡Viva América! ¡Viva! Mi sangre por ti daré yo. ¡Ay, ay, ay! Soy pura mexicana y nunca me he rajado. Si quieren informarse, la historia les dirá que México México es valiente y nunca se ha rajado. Viva la democracia, también la libertad. ¡Viva México! ¡Viva! ¡Viva América! ¡Viva! ¡Oh suelo bendito de Dios! ¡Viva México! ¡Viva! ¡Viva América! ¡Viva! Mi sangre por ti daré yo. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to acknowledge too that Lali's family is here. You all wave. Let me point you out. Does she sing like that at home too? All day long? No. Well, now we're on to our next portion of the evening, which is a really fabulous Q&A interview with Dr. Rico and 3 of our students. So I wanted to invite up Naomi Guzman Palomino, Eileen Orozco, and Leslie Huerta. So come on up, and Dr. Rico, come sit right here.
Yes, testing. Can you hear me? Yeah, yeah, test.
Well, we thought that it'd be lovely for you to hear a little bit about our students from them, as opposed to us talking about ourselves on and on and on, technology, right? These are 3 examples that represent, first and foremost, Roseland Collegiate Prep, but 3 examples of our current high school students that are living during these tumultuous times, and 3 examples of our future leaders. And in some cases, in many cases, they're currently our leaders. They're not waiting to be adults, to be leading, right? And so with that, we only have about 15 minutes for this segment. So I don't know that we'll get through too many questions, but let's try as get to many as possible. And I've informed them that they shouldn't feel pressure to all answer to every single question if they'd rather not. So it's informal. So here we go. With the very first question, it's the longest question just because I added some examples for them to consider as they are pondering the basic question, which is to tell us a little bit about themselves. So that's the basic question, but the long question is this. Can you tell us a little about yourself, such as any of the following? Your grade, how long you've been in the Roseland district, if you have brothers or sisters in the district, if you or your family are originally from this area, Roseland or Santa Rosa, or elsewhere, do you participate in sports, clubs, hobbies, extracurricular activities, whether at school or elsewhere, including family responsibilities or jobs, anything like that. So would you tell us a little bit about yourself? And this I would like all 3 to share. So whoever would like to start.
All right.
Leslie?
Sure. Can you hear me? All right. So my name is Leslie Huerta Gonzalez. I am a senior here at RCP. And a little bit about myself, I've been in the Roseland district practically my whole life. I have a little brother, though I can't really call him little anymore since he's taller than me now, sadly. But he is still my younger brother, and part of the reason why this event was really important to me was because I wanted to make sure that even if I'm not going to be here next year, I wanted to make sure that he has the best high school experience possible. And I'm originally from Guadalajara, Jalisco. I came here pretty young, still wasn't a year old yet when my parents decided to move to the United States. But yeah, growing up here, one of my biggest hobbies or interests was definitely the outdoors, being in nature. And over the summer, I had the opportunity to participate in an internship with Pepperwood Preserve and TNAT. And this year, during the school year, I am in another internship with Sonoma Land Trust.
Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, can you hear me right? All right. All right. Hi, guys. My name is Eileen Orozco. I am 16 years old and a senior here at RCP. I have been in the district pretty much my whole life as well. I have a younger sister that's also in the district. She's a sixth grader. So looks like we have the same graduation year. I am part of the student body at RCP, currently running for ASB, and I hope to get it. But one of my greatest hobbies that I can put to practice here at school is being a photographer. I'm part of the yearbook committee in order to like help. I'm the sports photographer, so I get to go all the games and leave class early for the school. But yeah, I'm really excited about graduating and maybe see what hopes in the future.
I guess that leaves me. Hi, my name is Naomi Guzman Palomino. I'm a senior here as well. I am the oldest of 4 siblings, and all my siblings and I have been in Roseland all of our school lives. 2 of my siblings actually attend here. One is in middle school and one is a freshman. And then my youngest sibling is at Roseland Creek. I'm part of student government as well. I'm also a student athlete, which is, if you guys got scared why I have black eye, it happens, you know. If you're into the game, it happens. But yeah, so I play soccer. I'm one of those girls soccer varsity captains of the team, and I am also a part-time worker. So I'm managing all of that in my senior year. But by the looks of it, this year has gone by really quick. It's been really fun. We've been working together to make it the best. Like Dr. Rico said, throughout these times, it's hard. If you want to get stuff done, you have to do it yourself, and you have to find time and people who are willing to help and be a part of it. Because since we lost a year of our school, being on Zoom, it was kind of hard coming back. So we're just trying to make with what we got, and being in Roseland is like helpful because there's people here that we know that have been here as well for their whole school life.
Thank you. Very nice. Whoa, you see why? Future leaders. Second question. What issues are important to you as current high school students and future leaders of our community and beyond? This could be issues specific to being a high school student and or broader community or societal issues. And do you have any advice or requests for us adults, either here tonight or in general, regarding these important issues?
So we actually discussed this question together because we wanted to come up with something that we all thought was an important issue. And first of all, we wanted to thank you guys. You guys are like the backbone of everything that's going on. You guys are here to help. You guys are here. Even if it's on the sidelines through Zoom or whatever, you're here, you're supporting. And we wanted to say that that's something that we want to see continue. Like, we get those opportunities, but we want the future generations, our siblings, to have the same opportunities that we're having right now, and possibly have even more. Like, it could be so many things that you guys can continue helping. Because I know sometimes when you're doing something, you might not think much of it because you don't get that appreciation, but you guys are doing a lot. Like, you guys are helping us. You guys are helping us get through these hard times, and you guys are gonna, hopefully you guys continue and help the future generations as well.
Yeah, like something closer to what she said. I'm really appreciative of what you guys are doing here today. And part of what his question was like advice to you guys. And looks like you guys are putting that in action of listening to the younger generations. And I love that you guys are out here today supporting us. And we really thank you for all of that. Listening to the younger generations to help others. I want to make sure that my sister has a good middle school and high school experience. So putting that here and coming here today is something that I really love to see. We like to see the opportunity, like scholarships, Although we are a small school and it's hard to put our name on the map. And when someone asks me, oh, what school are you from? I'm like, oh, it's RUP, but not RUP. It's like RCP. So really putting ourselves out there is something that we really like to see. And we are really grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah, building off of that, I'm really grateful for all of your continued support, and I really hope that support continues on. Something that's really important to me is education. Neither of my parents were able to continue their education in Mexico, and since I was little, they were always like, we want you to graduate high school, we want you to go to college, we want you to study whatever it is that you want to study and work in whatever career you want to work in. And education's always been pretty important to me, but being a first generation college student, we don't really we're pretty lost, honestly, with the whole college application process. But with programs like the Through College Mentor Program, which I signed up, it's been a really big help. And I'm really hoping that programs such as these continue in the future, because every little bit of help, every little bit helps. Yeah. Anything else? Oh, and environmental. Yeah, I'm really into like the environment and things like that. So environmental concerns is something else that I'm really interested in.
You mentioned the mentors. Do we have any mentors here tonight? Can you please stand? But the reason I call that out specifically is because, as I was mentioning in my earlier comments, from our backgrounds, we don't have a lot of those people in our network, but this is our network now. And so those mentors play a huge role in the lives of our students. So I would encourage you to reach out more to learn more about that. Yes, our two mentor coordinators are here. That's right. Please stand, both of you. Give them a big round of applause. They help coordinate all the mentor activities. And then there was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, increasing student voice. Just for your information, we're trying to start for the first time ever in our history, high school student representatives on both boards. A board member for one, and for the charter district, and then a board ambassador for the elementary district. So that's going to be another opportunity for our students to shine and have that experience being a leaders and being representatives of a larger body of students. So that's very exciting. So I look forward to that. One more question? Okay, one more, she says. Thank you. Would you be willing to share a little about what you see yourself doing in the future, either post-high school education and or career?
Throughout like my life is that our parents, like Leslie was saying, as a first generation college student, it is very difficult if we don't get the enough support that we need. But as I'm seeing that I am getting the support, I want to make my mother proud and be the first generation college student and graduate high school for one, because I will be the first to graduate high school in my family. So that's already a huge win. But if I continue with like my education, I plan on getting into business administration and hopefully get into some of that. And if not photography, that's also one of my passions. So I really hope to just study. I mainly UC Berkeley. So, I mean, I saw that you went there, so maybe I can ask for some tips. But yeah, continuing my education through college and getting a degree and just graduating for one is one of the things that will make my family proud.
Do you want to? As I mentioned before, education is like a really big part of my life. Ever since I was little, like at first I remember in kindergarten, I really wanted to be a teacher. But as I grew up, I got a little bit more exposure and I decided that I really wanted to be a scientist. But one of the biggest problems with that was that I didn't have a lot of people, I guess, I could look up to as scientists. Like neither of my parents went to college. My dad never finished high school. So there weren't a lot of people there to like really get an idea of what to study. So growing up, I kind of switched around. I was always in the science field, but it never is like, it's really big and really kind of vague. Right now, I am really hoping to go into college. I'm still debating which ones to go, but I've decided that I'd like to major in zoology or wildlife biology. Yeah, I'm not sure too much about what my future holds, but I really hope to travel. And really, besides science, something else that I really got into was cultural anthropology. I really enjoy learning about different cultures and languages. Yeah, it's just really something that interests me. I'm already bilingual. I speak Spanish as my mother tongue, followed by English, but I'm also hoping to learn German and Russian for my next languages.
And for me, for the longest time, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know what to do. I didn't have an older sibling, an older cousin to tell me like, hey, what, like to guide me into that life where you're starting to think, what am I gonna do? But being in Roseland has helped me like bounce off ideas off of friends and say, oh, that sounds cool. Let me learn more about it. And just like you have counselors and you have staff and you have everyone here to help you and support you in whatever it is you want to do. So right now, if it doesn't change, my plan is to major in political science. I don't know where, but hopefully it's somewhere nearby. I don't plan on going too far away from home, but I do want to travel. So maybe somewhere in California, not to close up, but yeah. And I've always been one, I was always taught to give back. So my goal is to be able to be like you guys and someday help others and give back to the community that once gave me something. I want to like leave my mark in the world after probably like maybe after college or during college, if I'm still here nearby or even where I am, like I just want to help, which is why I was thinking political science. I like to argue. So I was thinking I should be a lawyer. So I think that's the route that I'm taking as of right now. And right now I'm also kind of at a like, let's just see where it goes.
Anybody in the house, and I know you're there, that are lawyers, raise your hand, please, or retired lawyers. There you go.
There we go.
How about anything to do with zoology or that area of the, or just sciences in general?
Science.
Raise your hand if you have anything to do with sciences in general. There you go. And then a business or combining double major, business and photography.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, any business or in the area of photography? Right there. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got people that will help you. And with that, I want to, may I ask, have a question? Follow? Not a whole question. In order for you to get where you want, where you need to get, what are some real obstacles that you already know of that you're facing, or what help do you need to accomplish that?
Well, one of the obstacles that I face today, and maybe some might relate, are like financial obstacles. I'm currently, in the low income bracket. So whenever I think of like, oh, I want to go to this school, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, that's expensive. Will I be able to get all the scholarships I need to help me follow my dream? So I think that's going to be one of the obstacles that I know for sure I will face. And maybe I'm pretty sure I can overcome that.
I think Eileen speaks for me at least. It is something that I feel like it's just put on us as like fresh adults, since we're some of us are still 16, some of 17, and some of us are turning 18. I feel like the financial responsibility that comes with college or whatever you're going to do after high school, I feel like that's something that I know is an obstacle because I see it everywhere. I see, oh, bills, oh, we need this. Like, there's just like, you need money. And then that's just something that you're like, do I want to work? Do I want to go to school? Do I want to do both and try to manage? So I feel like something that's going to affect us a lot is like balancing our financial life with our school life.
Building off of what they said, the financial situation is something that's been really worrying me. I, for one, I've been looking forward to trying to get my doctorate, but I also have to consider like my younger brother is also probably gonna move on to college, and thinking of the cost, like my parents are definitely not gonna be able to support paying for the education of both my brother and I. So looking for scholarships and things like that. And I think in addition to that, maybe like lack of exposure, I guess. So for example, I didn't get a lot of exposure to like careers in science. And so some ways that I dealt with that was that I joined organizations like Land Paths and Sonoma County Regional Parks, and they've really helped introduce us to different careers in STEM. And I think that's really been helpful.
Well, now you see why our future is in good hands. So let's give these three young ladies a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. So, that's why it's so important. One of the things that you also started off right away was just navigating this whole application process, right? And the college going experience and what do you do? That is not known in first generation households, communities of color, of poverty, first to go to, even to apply to college. That's not normal for them to talk about that at the dinner table. It wasn't for me. My mom really encouraged me to go to school, but she couldn't tell me that's what this means. What's the difference between high school graduation requirements and UC entrance requirements? They're all the same. In my mom's mind, they're not the same. What's the difference between going to Sonoma State University and those requirements versus if you wanted to go to a private university? What are the requirements and how much it's cost? We don't know the difference until somebody explains that to us. So that's why it's so important to have mentors. That's why it's so important to have programs like Puente or Avid, right? Or we've got the mentor programs here. We've got the Through College philosophy here in Roseland, where we have Norma Telles, who I don't think is here today, but Norma Telles is one of the persons that works within our district to help our students that once they get to Santa Rosa Junior College or Sonoma State University, she works with our students there to make sure that they stay there, that they get the questions answered, and that they have somebody that they can trust and know and can go to. So that's why it's so important. So what we're trying to do is really create a de facto or a surrogate middle-class family for our students. We have to do that because that is not their experience, and we've got to be their proxy for a middle-class family. Have those discussions, have those experiences so that we demystify the process and it becomes normal. So we normalize those conversations, we normalize that thought process, and we normalize them believing it in here, right? And so my vision, and just to share it quickly, is equitably, it's memorize this, there's gonna be a test. This is a school, we will be quizzing you before you go home. That is your ticket to go home. Equitably meeting the needs of the whole student in order to provide a world-class education. Equitably meeting the needs of the whole student in order to provide a world-class education. That is my goal. That is the goal of what we're trying to accomplish here. And I think together we can, and together is the key word. And so my sign off, I started putting after my name, Juntos Adelante. You've heard Si Se Puede, yes we can. Well, I believe that's true, but together. So Juntos Adelante, we shall. And with that, I want to thank them again and thank you. And I'll turn it over to Jen. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for being here this evening and for being a part of this important conversation with our students. We are so grateful for each and every one of you, and I hope you heard again how important you are to us this evening and how we couldn't do what we do in Roseland schools without your support in the community and being those mentors and those examples and those outlets and those resources for our students. So thank you for being here. I hope that you're not an icicle right now. Please eat some more food. I want to thank Sazon Peruvian Cuisine for your delicious food. I want to thank our amazing tech team for all of a sudden becoming hybrid specialists. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of our staff for helping to put this event together. Our amazing students, you heard 3 of their dreams. We have all these students that we're greeting you this evening, and I bet they all have career goals too, and I bet one of you has the same career as they want to be. So thank you. Please stay to talk to your friends and eat some more food and stay warm, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks, everyone. Oh, and I just wanted to say one more thank you to Zitlali as well.
If this world makes you crazy, you take it all you can bear. You call me up, because you know I'll be there, and I'll see your truth.